Once hunted to the brink of extinction, the one-horned rhinoceros of India is now a global conservation success story. But how did this comeback happen? What strategies worked? And what's next for this gentle giant of grassland? Welcome to our deep dive into the Indian Rhino Vision 2020, a bold mission that redefined the hope for Indian wildlife. The greater one-horned rhinoceros, also known as the Indian rhinoceros, is one of the largest land mammals in Asia, second only to the elephant. Once found across the Indo-Gangetic plain, today these majestic creatures are mostly restricted to Assam, West Bengal and parts of Nepal. They weigh between 1.8 to 2.5 tons. Yes, you can tell them that they are a mini tank, but unlike their weight, they can charge at 50 kilometers per hour if provoked, and have a thick armor-like skin that makes them look like living tanks. But the question is, why were rhinos vanishing mostly during the 2005? The number one reason will be poaching. Their horns were in high demand in illegal markets, falsely believed to cure diseases and act as aphrodisiacs. The second reason will be habitat loss, as most of the grasslands were drained for agriculture. And third, the last but not the least major reason was natural disasters, where Assam was repeatedly flooded and the terrains pushed rhinos for human conflicts. Despite laws in place, protecting rhinos was a logistical nightmare. Kaziranga became a stronghold, but putting all eggs in one basket was risky. What if a disease or a disaster wiped out all the park's population? So in 2005, a bold idea was born, Indian Rhino Vision 2020, or in short it's called IRV 2020. So what was the goal of IRV 2020? So the first goal was to increase the rhino population by 3000 by 2020. And the second goal was to spread them across 7 protected areas in Assam to reduce the risk of over-concentration. The partners which joined hands for this mission was Assam Foreign Department, WWF India, that's World Wildlife Fund, third was International Rhino Foundation, and fourth one was US Fish and Wildlife Service. It was more than a rhino relocation project. It was vision to revive the ecosystem, empowering local communities and build future-ready conservation methods. So the biggest challenge for this project was, how do you move a 2-ton rhino? And the simple answer was carefully. Rhinos were darted, monitored and moved from crowded areas like Kaziranga to undercrowded population like Manas, Pobitora and Laukoa. Over the next 15 years, 45 rhinos were translocated. Community rangers were trained and employed for round-the-clock protection. Rhinos protection units were set up with weapons, vehicles and GPS gear. Satellite monitoring and drone surveillance kept poachers at bay. So these were some of the measures which were taken. There were multiple hurdles also for this project. Some rhinos died during translocation. Also, Manas, once decimated by conflict, needed rebuilding. But the team persisted. The results were absolutely inspiring. From 2000 rhinos in 2005, the population crossed 3,700 by 2022, exceeding the original IRV 2020 target. The Manas National Park, once empty rhinos due to insurgency, is now home to 40 plus rhinos and was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site again in 2011. Kaziranga, though crowded, remains a beacon, now hosting over 2,600 rhinos, the highest in the world. IRV 2020 officially concluded, but the story doesn't end here. The next goal is to include expanding habitat corridors between parks to allow safe migration. and to introduce rhinos to newer protected wetlands. The other goals are to involve local communities in ecotourism and education, and also for protection of these species. And of course, anti-poaching intelligence shall be strengthened. The success story of IRV 2020 proves that science can work if government and NGOs can cooperate. Also, the communities, when empowered, become nature's best guardians. Also, conservation doesn't need miracles, just sustained effort and vision. India's rhino story now inspires global projects in Africa and Southeast Asia. It shows that even in the 21st century, we can bring back what we nearly lost. So, hey viewers, do you believe in second chances for animals, for nature, and for us? Then please share this video and hit the subscribe button and tell us in the comment. Tell us what animal would you want to see bounce back next? Let's spread the word because rhinos didn't come back by chance, they came back by choice.